when I started the project, I went on a ride with Lance. It was pretty great. But at the same time, I think getting to go on a ride with Lance, seeing his riding ritual and talking to him in that context, like you definitely get it, you know, and the same, and I met Doug Allman in his office, and I think it's like, it took about 30 seconds to get a sense of like, oh, okay, I get the deal, you know, like, you know, there's nothing like really meeting somebody face to face in their world, you know. I have two friends who are survivors of cancer, and I think it's, you know, I think that's very common, you know, to be like in close proximity to that. I think definitely like that moment, that like time spent with my grandmother and her passing away from cancer is like, you know, looking at like clouds and knowing like, oh, like I'm out here, but my grandma will never see this cloud I'm looking at now. And because she's gonna die, and you know, it's like incurable leukemia. And, you know, I think that like it was definitely like a formulative moment for me, for my work and for just, I don't know, as a human being, you know? Like the stages, like when it's such a bunch of, it's like a lot of heavy hitters, you know? And it's kind of like the A-team, like everyone has their like skills. To me, like that's like my job, you know, in stages is like, I think it's to be a little bit clear, you know? And so ideally, like I can speak about cancer in that same way. Like I feel like I know exactly, it's like it's kind of like I know the voice to use, like the way how I like to talk about it. And I'd like to make something that's like kind of like heartwarming and devastating and somehow, you know, like I guess kind of effective. I like things to be like sloganized, you know? So that's where I feel like it lies, you know? Like a slogan as a thing, as an image, as an icon, as a sculpture, as a moment within this show. I think the things that I'd like to talk about is the idea of like looking into the face of death and being better for it. It's a little bit simplistic, but there's something to that.